Hello, and welcome to another episode of Breadcast Movie and TV Talk. So now that my discussion on the new movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters, is out there, I now want to talk about this whole universe and talk about some of the decisions made in King of the Monsters as well, and of course what the future of these movies could be and what we know will be, and so let's get right into it. Let's start by talking about the King of the Monsters movie first. So, one major criticism of that movie and the 2014 Godzilla movie is that they focus too much on the humans, not enough on Godzilla and the action, or in the case of the 2014 Godzilla movie, by having Godzilla show up like an hour and 20 minutes into the movie. Or the case of King of the Monsters, where they kept cutting from the action or whatever pointless thing the humans are doing. Either way, it's all the same. So I found a whole article on Gizmodo's website that is like a Q&A with the director Michael Dougherty. And in the article he explains a lot of the reasoning of why he did things the way he does in the movie. This next passage is taken from said article. Godzilla could certainly improve countless movies, but it's not only because of the kaiju battles or the spectacle of watching cities get wrecked. Now, this is not the only passage from the article I will use, but I want to talk about this point first. Now, I don't really know why they were talking about how cool it would be to make any movie if you just drop Godzilla in it, because, that's not true, but, that's not important. They're pretty much saying that people don't go to a Godzilla movie to see the giant monster battles and destruction, even though that's also not true, given that anyone who criticized the 2014 Godzilla movie and King of the Monsters said that they focused too much on the humans, which bring me to the next point from this article. Human interaction is central to many of the best Godzilla films. If you go back and look at the long history of Godzilla films, they interact with him a lot. Maybe personally, I was more affected by those moments because that's what I think the message is. And what all the movies are trying to say is about that relationship. That there is a possible connection to be made between giant monsters and human beings. No living organism lives on its own. It's about the delicate relationship between different species. And all that being said is the exact reason why the American versions of Godzilla are too focused on humans and not the monsters, and go out of their way to not show the action in these Godzilla movies. All because of the fact that when the director watched most likely some, not all, of the Godzilla movies, he personally thought that the story of the people and their relationship to Godzilla is more important than the awesome monster battles, and I'd have thought that since enough people complained about it in the 2014 Godzilla movie that they would have changed that in King of the Monsters, and they only did like 10% better. But they really didn't change anything. Now this article gets even better with the next passage that I picked. That delicate relationship has manifested itself in different ways throughout the series' history, but one constant has been the strong environmental message. That's the message of the Godzilla films since the beginning in 1954. It's don't fuck up the planet, otherwise Mother Nature releases her 800 megaton monsters. Now this one I find funny because the way they portray it in these movies, the American ones, are that nukes are cool. I mean, in King of the Monsters, they use a nuke, and they take it down to where Godzilla is regenerating, and they blow it up next to his face to try to fix their mistake of using the oxygen destroyer to try to kill Ghidorah, but end up killing Godzilla and putting him out of commission. 1954, the message that Godzilla was trying to tell is that nukes are bad. The exact opposite of the message I'm getting from King of the Monsters. Now that's all I'm going to use from the article, since after that he talks about the other monsters and says some good things about them and things that are not important here. I just hope you can see from the things said as that that the things said by the director why King of the Monsters turned out basically the same as the 2014 Godzilla movie. Now the future of these movies. We already know that in 2020 we are getting a Godzilla vs. King Kong movie, which I'll probably see. I hope that it being a versus movie, that they actually focus on the fighting between King Kong and Godzilla, and not some useless human characters. But what about after that one? Well, considering the post-credits in King of the Monsters, I'm gonna guess that we'll get some sort of movie where Godzilla will fight a Mecha Ghidorah, which would be pretty damn cool to see. Who knows, maybe they'll make a movie where Godzilla is bad and they'll find some alien race to help them and they make Mecha Godzilla so we can have that fight too. But maybe they won't do that. I don't know. These movies are entertaining to watch, but unless they can fix the issues that they currently have, then they're gonna lose people to these movies. That's all I have to say, so if you're out of the conversation, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for listening and goodbye.